Excellent. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Vijay Ramjatan. I'm the president of CEC28. And it gives me great honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to our CEC, Community Education Council, District 28, June 2021 meeting, right? I mean, 1 year ago, we didn't know what's going to happen from then to now. And look, we are here and we are still here. And most of you are still here. And so happy to see your faces. Feel free to unmute, show your faces in the camera. We welcome that in this council here. And to all of our stakeholders in our community, we want to welcome you to our monthly calendar meeting. This meeting, like all our other meetings, they are very important. They are crucial. They are vibrant, and we want all of our council members who always are present to bring the best foot forward and to bring you all information. Our liaisons from FACE, and we have one of our old FACE liaisons also here today with us. And our current liaison, Bibi Matadin, who always brings us all information and the current information. We have all the potential future council members who applied and did a wonderful job, and all who are here tonight also, like Natifa Lewis and so many others. So grateful to have all of you present today here with us at this meeting. So I want to start off by firstly doing a roll call with all of our council members, after which we'll start off our agenda that we have. We have some information and we have a lot of fun stuff to do today. So bear with us, please. Once again, welcome. Is the chat feature enabled? Can we make sure it's enabled, please? Excellent, it is, perfect. And please use the chat. I'll ask our recording secretary, Erica, to say a few words about the chat. Erica?
Sure. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. And thank you for joining us in our last CEC meeting as this council. So I just want to remind you, in the chat, we ask that you kindly speak to each other. This chat has been enabled for us to correspond. If you want to speak, you're going to write your name and the word speak. And at the end, you'll be given a couple of, what are we doing today? 3 minutes, a short period of time to speak at the end. So again, thank you, welcome. Please type your name and the word speak if you would like to make a comment, have a question, give some fair wishes. We will look at the names and make a list at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Erica. You know, our members are so committed, right? So Erica is actually on the road right now, driving very far away, and she still made it tonight to our meeting. We are grateful for you, Erica, and for everyone else, and Elena, who's still here. She's not doing the best, but she's here, and we are so grateful. You guys power through. Here we go. So I'm going to call your name. Just please say you're present. Please unmute yourself, council members. So Vijay Ramjan, President, I am here. Barbara Williams, First Vice President.
Here.
Thank you, Barbara. Elena Amanova, Second Vice President.
Here.
Thank you, Elena. Treasurer Andy Medes King. Treasurer Andy Medes King. Treasurer Andy Medes King. Okay, not excused. Recording Secretary Erica Cooper. I know she's here.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Thank you. Micah Morrison. I see you, Micah. I think you are muted already.
I got kicked off. Can you see me?
No, we hear you and we see you. Yes.
I can't hear or see anything. I have no idea what's going on, but I'll try to work it out, and I'm here.
Thank you for being here, Micah.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
Member Ted Chang.
Here.
Thank you, Ted, for being here. Member Robert Tamayev, he's excused. But if you all see a yellow bird anywhere in the meeting, just let us know that might be him flying in. So he's excused for tonight. Borough President appointee Howard Pollock.
Present.
Thank you, Howard. Borough President appointee Rajendra Kaur.
Present.
Thank you so much. And I want to acknowledge our face liaison, Bibi Matadin is here also. We also have the wonderful Sonia Roweda. And it gives me great honor to also let you know that we also have Crystal Weiss, our amazing administrative assistant. Yes, she deserves a round of applause. Yay, awesome. So my dear friends, without further ado, I will definitely pass the microphone over to our district superintendent. Amazing, wonderful. And this may be the last time I have to say this. I want to say it. It has been a great honor, a great pleasure to have sat in the same boat and to be led by the amazing Dr. Tammy Pate. So many changes happened in the past 2 years of this council. And with changes come some uncertainty. But from the first time Dr. Pate stepped her foot into this district, in this council, in this seat, we felt reassured, we felt a sense of purpose, and we felt a sense of motivation that we will be okay. And it gives me great honor to introduce our Dr. Tammy Pate, our district superintendent. Dr. Pate.
Thank you so very much. I wish I could just turn it around, this mirror around, and say the same thing to all of you, to each of you. Our president, so this is my first superintendency. I've been a deputy superintendent, but you are my first. And of course, I'm your first, right? And so it took a lot of trust to engage with me in an honest and transparent way, to trust me with the things that matter to you, and for me to do the same. I knew coming in that I intended to give it everything I've got. And we're tired because we do exactly that. But I know and recognize the blessing that each of you have been to my personal life and to my professional life. And the reason I say personal is because many of you, we've had offline conversations about how this pandemic has impacted our own families, our own children, our homes, and our ability to do the work, right? It stirred up some really big things for us, but we also had to battle the emotional strain of a pandemic. And this CEC they're my thought partners. You are my sergeant at arms when we need to get something done at central level. You are the voices that make sure it gets heard loud and clear. I cannot thank you enough for that. I can't thank you enough for the fact that when I sit in central meetings, they know District 28 CEC. They know you by name. They know you by name. That's a really big thing. And that's not my doing. I'm here to support this work. This is our District 24 CEC. I'm so thankful for each of you. I don't know about this last, with respect to everyone who ran, and I don't know the results, and we're trying to figure out what's holding it up. But I'm so thankful for this body and for everything that you have done, everything that we're in the process of doing, for the fact that you elevate voices. There are some places where we don't welcome every opinion. This is not one of those places. That's how I know I have a place here. That's how you know you have a place here. And I know this is our last meeting, and I really wish, like with all the COVID fear and everything, I wish that we were together, because I owe a whole bunch of people hugs. I even owe one or two of you maybe a beer. You may have said that offline. But I just want to say how very thankful I am for each and every one of you. There's a ton of our principals on the line as well. And boy, oh boy, have they practiced patience with me. We have been fast and furious emailing. There's no sleep in these last few weeks. I literally emailed them at 12 and 1 o'clock at night. Some of them are up and they respond. I'm sorry, but that's the nature of our work right now. For every single communication that has come out of the CEC, the way you advocate for every single soul in this district, thank you. This is not a one-person job. And if anyone tells you it is, just walk in the opposite direction, because that's not a space that we even want to entertain. This is about all of us doing the work together. I've asked some of our South folk to join us today because there's a lot that we need to discuss, especially summer rising. Summer rising, I'm having nightmares. Summer rising, there is a lot that is happening that we are struggling with. Principals are very frustrated, and I promise you, every single email, it becomes an entire conversation with all of the powers that be, because we are trying to advocate for our families and what is right for District 28, and to honor the word that has been put forward by the City of New York. And we are going to hold them to their word. So believe me when I tell you, you may not see me face to face, you may not hear me doing it, but we are tireless. I just got off the phone again with our executive superintendent. I was on the phone, and we've moved to text message with our central leadership, because I'm at them so much. They're just like, let me take her offline and see if I can get something done. And I'm okay with that as long as they're responding. But we know that there's a lot of work to do with regard to our summer plans and then opening in September, which I promise you will be done in such a way that you are going to again be proud of the district in which you live and have chosen to educate your children. We are working hard, probably too hard. I'm actually requiring that folk take their vacation this summer because it's important. And I don't want to lose any more of our leaders that are not retiring. One of our giants, one of our leadership giants is on the phone, on the call today in this meeting. Our own principal, Pat Mitchell, is retiring this year. And there are many others because they fought a good fight. And I guess it's time. Not that I won't follow her wherever she's going. Susan, Principal Migliano, please don't wave. I will come to your house right now. I cannot. Nope, not at all. Not this year. Not this year. I can't. Do you all see her talking? I can't. But I just want to acknowledge so many of our leaders. Principal Grego, you are such a partner in this. I thank you so much for everything that you do. Everything that you do, you have no idea how he quietly contributes to so much greatness in this district. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone on the line. I sound a little, whether I'm just kind of giving salutations or if we're doing updates, it's probably a bit of all of that. Sonia and I have been working, just fielding phone calls. Oh, I see our Principal Tishman is on the line as well. We've been fielding communications and trying to escalate the concerns that are coming in. Please be patient with us. I know it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating. I'm asking you to be patient with us as we help to resolve this situation. Right now, we're trying to staff our schools. And if you can imagine, everyone's tired and they don't want to get tired, you all. And so many of our schools are being staffed by people who are just saying yes, because I'm asking them to do so. And I don't take that for granted. I don't take that for granted. They are one thread there. And because we are asking them to go a little harder, to go a little longer, to be there, they're doing it for us. Why? Because your children are their scholars. And they are in great hands with us. And we're determined to bring our kids and our staff back to school in September and get us back to where we belong. And that's a big job. So be patient with us, be in partnership with us, be in partnership. We're gonna ask you to do some big things as we prepare to bring our children back. Trust us, that we have your best interests at heart and that we are doing everything we can to ensure that we are ready for every one of our scholars, every one of your children. We love this district and we love every soul that inhabits it. We are going to continue to do what's right. And so as folk are going to talk to you tonight, Sonia Rueda is also here and will speak to you, as many folk are going to speak to you about the challenges. Even one of our principals, if you could just talk about what the process of registration has been, sort of your own personal experience, if there is time for that. Our president, if you will give them even a couple of minutes, just so you know some of the things that we're doing to sort of work around the challenges of enrollment and work around the challenges of our summer rising.
And most definitely, you can go ahead and call your speakers, please.
So I just would ask one of our principals if you wouldn't mind to just come in and talk a little bit about what the experience is like. And we also have our own director of operations who I thank you for always answering my call. Narayan Bharat is also here, and he's going to speak with you all. If I could hear from one of our principals to just quickly, maybe 3 minutes, to just speak about what this process of enrollment and preparing for summer rising has been like at your school. Any one of you can jump in. I know that they need to be. Pat Mitchell, would you like to speak? I don't know if I can unmute her. You're muted.
Hi.
If you're speaking.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Again.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
So,
Oh, go ahead, Pat.
good evening, everybody. So, long day, but the process is different. It's unlike a process we've ever had before for summarizing. And I actually applaud the effort by the Chancellor's Office to have parents have a say in if their children will attend summer school. I actually like that piece, but it is extremely difficult to keep track of which scholars are going and exactly why. In years past, principals have taken recommendations from teachers and parents to find out exactly what areas we needed to work on for our scholars if it was a remedial program. Enrichment's a whole different DVD. But I'm dating myself with DVD. But anyway, this year it's difficult to find the teachers and the space to create classrooms because we have these heterogeneous groupings coming in from different schools, and we're not really sure why they're coming. We don't know what their deficiencies are. So parents are being asked to put their scholars into summer programs, and that's great. But we don't exactly know how to plan instructionally for those scholars, and that is very, very challenging. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. Again, I applaud the efforts to have parents have more say, but logistically, right now, it's a nightmare.
Thank you. And Angela?
Oops.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for that.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Pate, for giving us the opportunity to speak to the community. You know, I know that there has been a lot of stress and anxiety by the parent, you know, on the parents' parts, just kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. You know, we're getting a lot of, I applied for a seat, we were promised a seat, and I haven't heard back anything. And I think that, I know that that is very frustrating, especially as a parent who's been promised, right? What we see in the media is that every child is going to be given a seat. Summer Rising's open to everyone. It's free. It sounds amazing and exciting. And as Principal Mitchell said, there's all of these moving parts, one being the planning for children from multiple locations. So children and families can pick whichever school they want to attend Summer Rising in. It may not necessarily be the school closest to their home. And so, you know, that leaves us trying to kind of put together a program in conjunction with the CBO. And what I think that families, you know, at this moment, what is being told to principals who have Summer Rising in their site is that there are 100 seats in our sites. And so, you know, the DOE has promised to hopefully bring more seats and open more for families, but at this point, we are not aware of that just yet. We've been collaborating with the CBOs because we know that it is on them to do the enrollment and the onboarding of all of the children, and we're working side by side with them. Most of the principals don't have the program in their building, so we are now collaborating with each other for the sites that are being put together. And in some cases, you know, there is one school at a site, and in some cases like mine, there are 10 schools at a site. And so, you know, there's just a lot of logistics that are behind all of that. And so, you know, I echo what Dr. Pate said, and please just be patient. I know that everybody wants to have a seat, and hopefully the DOE and the DYCD can collaborate with each other to open more seats for the community. But at this time, the CBO partners are working with what they have, and what they have in many cases, not in all, but in many cases, they have 100 seats at the site. And so again, the promise has been that more of those seats will be opened, but they're just rolling as they go. And in many places, we have hundreds and even thousands of applicants for one site. So it is a timely process for the community organizations to sort through those applications, do all of the necessary paperwork, and then onboarding of those children, and then onboarding of their staff.
Right. Thank you so much. So there are lots of moving parts, and I wanted to just have our principals to speak to you before our director of operations, and all around just, I don't, Ryan, I'm not real sure if there's a job description for all that you do for this district and for our Queens South. But I am going to ask that you come on mic and speak to our families about the summarizing updates, including the building, the change from 175 to 220 and 190. Those schools have been split. But I would ask that you come on and just speak to us for a brief time. I see you. Let me find you so we can unmute.
I just asked him to unmute.
Here you are. Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. Go ahead, Noreen. Noreen, there you go.
Okay, got it. It was telling me I wasn't allowed to unmute for a moment. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to see all of you. I know it's a bit of an anxious time, but it's also an opportunity because the chancellor has really crafted this vision of a different type of summer program than we've had in years past. They've even changed the name. They call it Summer Rising now. And just to give you an idea of what's happening here, in a normal pre-COVID year, we have an average of 6,000 to 8,000 students who are mandated and attend summer school in New York City. This year, we are literally doing one order of magnitude greater than that. So we are going to wind up with something like 60 to 80,000 students citywide who are going to be attending the Summer Rising program. So we've opened 727 buildings citywide out of the 1,600 that we have. So it's a massive, massive undertaking, and there's a lot of resources and a lot of moving parts, and obviously a lot of logistics that go with that. And the reason the chancellor has poured so much into this is because many of our students have not seen the inside of a school building since last March. And what she really wants to do is to use the summer as an opportunity to transition as many students back into school for the fall as possible. And that's why the partnership with the CBOs was so critical for all of the K-8 schools. Every K-8 building that's open has a CBO partner. And the reason for that is that she wants it to be engaging. She wants them to do more than just remedial academics. And she wants them to understand that school is a place where you can do a wide variety of activities and be engaged and welcomed. So that's really the vision of what we're trying to do here. And, you know, with all good intentions, there come challenges. And so as the principals have articulated, we are, you know, going through some growing pains. The CBOs were all contracted by DYCD, and the vast majority of them were given these initial caps of 100, 150. And the reason for that is because these are actual contracts with dollars and cents attached to them. And DYCD didn't want to just write a blank check to the CBOs. They wanted to wait until they got the actual enrollment numbers from the different sites. And it was clearly stated to the CBOs at the beginning, and this message unfortunately took a little while to get through to everyone. But what was supposed to happen is when the CBOs approached their cap, so for example, if a CBO had a cap of 100 and they had 80 students enrolled and they knew that there were more coming, they at that point are supposed to reach out to DYCD and say, hey, we are approaching our cap. We need more resources so that we can increase our cap to accommodate the students who are coming. That's the process, and that is the promise and the resources that the chancellor has put in place. And that process is ongoing, as I think Principal Tauschman had indicated. It's going on right now as we speak, because some of our sites, like 175, that we had to move to 220 and split between 190, because at that site, we initially had 10 schools, and we had in excess of 800 applications. And I think we're up to 900 now among those 10 schools. And so unfortunately, because there was a electrical issue with the air conditioning, and all of the air conditioners have not been, installed and powered at 175, and we could not get a guarantee from Con Ed that that work would be done by the end of June, we had to relocate the school. And so 6 of those schools were moved to 220. And so because geographically they're very close by, and it's not that much of a trek to move over from 175 to 220, there is working AC there. And we should be able to accommodate a vast majority of the students there. We are going to increase the cap. And the same CBO that was at 175 is moving with those students to 220. So there's going to be continuity, and that relationship will continue. The other 4 schools that are going to 190 are also geographically a little bit closer there, and the CBO that's there is going to be able to support them as well. And our BCO team has been reaching out to the principals, and we're going to continue to provide as much support as possible. So there will be, I know there's a lot of questions flying through the chat. So just give you some of the broad outlines. Busing, I know, is always a question that comes up. So there is busing, and they started working on the routes since last Friday, which is good because it takes a while to get those routes in place. Busing is going to be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So students will be dropped off by 8 a.m. and the last pickup is going to be at 3 p.m. So I know for the K-5 schools, the program runs from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if students are staying after 3 p.m., they're going to have to get picked up because the bus will not be available to pick them up after 3 p.m. In terms of nutrition, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll take questions at the end if possible, because we have some other speakers to go on. And if you could hold on and with the answering the questions from the chat, we'll give you a presentation with chat questions. We'll come at the end when we have the public comments, please.
Sure. And so in terms of food and nutrition, what is going to happen is there's going to be breakfast served, lunch served, and for students who are staying after 3 p.m., there's going to be a late afternoon snack. I'm not sure what that constitutes, but there is a late afternoon snack for the students who are staying after 3 p.m. And also, this is a new thing in terms of what is being asked for the principals, because they're being asked now to design a program from scratch, right? They're not implementing what we used to call Summer in the City, which was a mandated curriculum. They're being asked to use where possible, their own curriculum, because again, the chancellor's vision is that this is a transition to the fall. So if the schools that are affiliating are using similar or same curriculum, then they can use that same curriculum so the students are using that same material as a bridge to the fall. But now the planning is with the CBO and working out how to schedule a full day incorporating the CBO elements. And so Central, again, has put out some resources to support principals doing that. Our BCO is also reaching out to help and aid with the planning, but it is a heavy lift. But there's no mistake about it. It's very different. The pace is enormously fast, the turnaround time, because it's June 3rd. We know that July is right around the corner. And so there's a lot of work, and it is a very heavy lift. There's a lot of resources being poured in to support. The chancellor has every school that's in that grade band from K to 8 has been given an extra $17,500 this year to hire an additional AP for the summer to support them in the summer school work. And while that is fantastic, we're also having a challenge finding enough APs. So while there are some resources, there are still challenges with those resources. So that's in a broad sense where we are. And just to give you a quick sense in terms of numbers, as I said, in a normal year, we have 6,000 to 8,000 students enrolled who are mandated for summer school. Currently, right now, as of this morning, we had 28,117 fully enrolled citywide. We have another 20,200 who have applications in the DYCD portal that have not been enrolled by the CBOs. And tonight, 8,500 of those are going to be fully enrolled. So by tomorrow morning, we should have 36,000 students fully enrolled. And there's another 7,600 that are on the waiting list right now, because in some cases where we have a K-8 building, there may be a CBO for the middle school, but there's not a CBO attached for the elementary grades or vice versa. And so those students in those cases are currently being waitlisted until that CBO is in place, and then they'll be automatically registered. So we're moving, and it's enormous. And like I said, right now we have about 59,000 applications in total. And we expect that number to rise because you'll see in your neighborhoods and on local ethnic media that the city has put out a full ad campaign to promote this program. So we expect those numbers to rise in a couple of days. Last thing, like I said, I mentioned the APs additional APs have been provided. The funding has been provided for those APs. We're trying to hire as many as possible. And in terms of staffing for teachers, the good news is there, we were very concerned about getting enough teachers for the summer. That job posting will close on June 11th. But right now we have about 13,000 teachers who have applied, thank goodness. So we should have enough teachers to staff for summer school. So I'm going to pause there because I know I've been going a mile a minute, but I did want to give you just a big picture sense of where we are and how we're trying to make this work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Pate. I truly appreciate you and your team really bringing all the information to us. Truly appreciate all this. I know we have Sonia Rueda on board also later on tonight, and she will speak also. So thank you, Dr. Pate, and thank you, Narayan, for really giving us all that information. And then a lot of parents have a lot of questions, so please stick around. Please, please, please stick around, and you can answer some of those questions that we have. Can we take off the spotlighting of in the Zoom meeting, please? So someone can do that. That's my. There it is. Here it is. Okay, excellent. So at this point, we're going to call on the Community Board 9, Sherry Algredo, and also Kenichi Wilson. And can you please unmute yourself, and then we'll take it over there.
Kenichi Wilson is going to speak first. He has a special presentation that he wants to make.
Good evening,
Mr.
everyone.
Wilson.
Hi, thank you, Sherry. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President Ramchandran. I just wanted to chime in. I'm sorry if I'm jumping in front of everybody else, but I have another meeting I have to run to. I apologize, I don't make your meetings that often, but I have the greatest chair of education of Community Board 9. She tells me everything that's going on, even in Queens, the whole world of Queens. So it's almost like if I was at the meeting myself, and I appreciate everything she does. And I appreciate everything you guys do. Basically, I just want to say, we at Community Board 9 would like to thank the members of the Community Education Council 28 for the past 2 years of service to the community and the children of District 28 public schools. We appreciate all you do, and we recognize the important role that you've played during your 2-year term that's coming to an end, especially during this pandemic. Real quick, I know in CB9, I think there's only 4 District 28 schools, but when I did a little bit of my homework tonight, I don't think even Sherry knows this, that as a young child, I grew up in Forest Hills. So my first school was PS 174, William Sidney Mount. I'm 50 years old, so this is 45 years ago. I think my principal at that time was Mr. Landtrap, quite a while ago. And then I did go to PS 190, which are both District 28 schools. So I grew up under you guys. But I just wanted to, with that, say that we've prepared some certificates of recognition. We really appreciate everything that you guys do, especially, the time that you take out to better the CEC28. I'm going to read off one of the the community recognition, service recognition awards, and then Sherry could follow through because I have to run. It's like this. Sorry, we didn't send it out early enough. But for instance, this one is going to President Ramjat. And it says, Committee Board 9 wishes to thank you for your advocacy and service for the school years 2019 through 2021. In recognition of your tireless work and esteemed member of Community Education Council 28 of Queens and dedication to the students of the District of 28. And we've prepared several of these, Sherry, if you want to take it on, but I really appreciate your service. Hope to see some of you if you get reelected. And I'd love to come back and sit in on one of your meetings when we go back into person. But Sherry?
Yes, and I'll take it from here and finish it up. I'm very sorry because our chair has to go to meeting, but the minute I told him about this and I brought him up about how about you think we do some certificates of appreciation, he jumped right in and he said yes. So I want to thank you, Mr. Wilson, very much. And thank you for taking time to attend, and I'll finish call out the names. Thanks. So I'd also like to add to it, I'm also the education chair and the first vice chair of Community Board 9. I've been attending the meetings. The first meeting I attended was the diversity, which no one could forget. I attended the first meeting. I saw this big crowd of people. Some people got locked out. There was all this commotion. I was there. And I didn't know anyone there. And Vijay, I believe he was the president then. And I remember he's looking up and smiling at me. And I was like, he don't know me. Why is he smiling at me? And he was so friendly. And I used to be in Community Education Council. I spent 4 years at Community Education Council 27. And I know parents, you know, who do volunteer work and give of their time. It's so important. They may not ask for it because they do it selflessly for the children of the school district, but they deserve recognition, just like everybody else. And their work is hard. You know, you don't get paid to do this, and yet they still spend time representing, you know, and then everything that goes wrong, it's at the CEC meeting, parents come and vent. So I want to thank you guys, and I just want to call out all the names because we have certificates for everyone. Vijay Ramjatan, the president, Barbara Williams, first vice president, Elena Aminova, second vice president, Erica Cooper, recording secretary, Andy Midas King, treasurer, Ted Chang, Robert Tamayev, Micah Morrison, Howard Pollack, the board president appointee, and Rajwinder Kaur, board president appointee. We have certificates for all of you guys. We're going to be in touch with the administrative assistant, and we'd like to thank you for everything you do. And also, we have also prepared a certificate of appreciation for Miss Crystal Weiss, your administrative assistant, because I've emailed her in the past to share information, and she's so awesome. I told her you're the best, but I think I needed to say this publicly because she's really awesome. So we also prepared one that says, thank you for your amazing work with CEC27 and the work you do with the CEC28 and the District 28 community. And you know, and also the leadership. So we want to say a special thank you. And I also want to thank Dr. Pate, who, you know, they always say behind every great team, there's a great leader. So I want to thank her for also being a great leader of School District 28. Thank you guys, and I wish you all a very great summer. I hope when we come back in September, it's gonna be better than it was last year. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much to both you and Kenichi for always coming to our meetings, Sherry. Thank you for being here. And these are awards, we appreciate it. It motivates us to keep doing more. And we thank you, Community Board 9, for I think it's the first time ever like Community Board ever gave out the CEC. Is that correct?
We've never done it before, but you guys are a special kind of CEC. You deserve it.
Excellent. You know what? And you guys are special too. So you know what? We are one community.
And by the way, this Vijay didn't know this was coming today. Nobody knew except Miss White, and we want to thank her for keeping that secret.
It was a secret. Thank you, Kenichi. We wish you all the best. Great leadership on your part of the whole district for Community Board 9. And we wish you best in all your endeavors running for office, etc. We thank you and we hope you come back and to our CEC.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, council members, here we go. Thank you. Next, we're going to have Marina Nassif of Division of 10 Lieutenant Governor from Thrive NYC, and she'll have a presentation. Nassif, please unmute yourself, and Marina, sorry, and you can go do your part. Thank you so much. Is Marina here? I don't see her name on the list.
Yeah, I don't think she's here.
That's totally fine. If she just shows up, we can always readmit her back on.
Is it Maria Martel? Because I see Maria Martel.
I see Maria Martel, but I don't see Marina Nassif. So that's okay.
No.
So we're going to move right along. Today, my dear friends, we are going to do the following announcements. Please bear with us really patiently. We appreciate that first and foremost from all of you. We have, as part of the CEC here today, we want to acknowledge parents. This past year, I reached out to my council members and I said, hey, why don't we do something for the first time and acknowledge a few parents in our district that we felt were contributing to our community and also doing their part in their own way to make this community great as it is. It takes all of us, right? And I'm glad that and sent out the names of the following people. So at this point in time, I want to call on each council member, and you should have your names by now, who you're going to call out. And Crystal Weiss, can you please share your screen with the name of the award and the person that we have over there. And the reason why we're giving out these awards to these parents and these community leaders in our community is that to acknowledge their work, their tireless work, their commitment. And even though they don't have a title on the CEC, we recognize you. We commend you and we salute you for your commitment and hard and tireless work that you have been doing. So I'll ask Barbara, can you please call your name?
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here. The Community Education Council of District 28 recognized Miss Siobhan Johnson. We thank you and appreciate your service.
Jackson.
Is it Jackson or Johnson?
Jackson.
It's Jackson. I got Johnson. My apology.
No worries, Barbara.
Okay,
and Crystal Weiss is showing the certificate on the screen. Thank you so much, Crystal. Elena, can you please call your person?
Irene Rayevsky. We recognize you today, and let me actually spotlight Crystal so we can see it.
There it is. Thank you.
There we go.
That wasn't your name, but okay.
I know, it's okay. So then, Erica, you will call the other person who Elena is supposed to call.
We got it. Congratulations.
And yes, I would like to call Shirley Arbin. Shirley Arbin.
It's Shirley Obey, but that's fine.
Thank you so much, Erica. Next person, we have Ted. Can you call the name that you were given to call?
Sure. And Vijay, just to clarify, because I'm not sure it was clear to everyone, we kind of came up with this idea to do this on a regular basis. And it just so happened that the first time we did it was kind of the last meeting. So, so I don't think, just so people understand, it's not like, you know, like a one-time thing. I think we were trying to kind of do this as a regular thing, but it just happened to fall in the last meeting of the council. So,
Yes.
yeah, so the name I have is, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, but Taramati Singh.
Yes. Thank you. And you could just say thank you, Taramati. You could just unmute yourself so you can see who you are. T-A-R-A. Taramati, are you there? I saw her on the screen before. Thank you so much. And then there she is.
Yes, Vijay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thanks to the CEC for everything you guys have done. Working along you, Vijay, it's been a pleasure and will continue being a pleasure because you're the man that wears the hat of sizes, shapes, colors, and everything. hats off to you, Vijay. Thank you, and thank your team for this too. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Taramati. Next, we have Rajwinder, your name.
Yeah, actually, I misplaced the name. The name is, I already emailed to Crystal. I don't want to miss that.
I'll say it.
You want me to say the name?
Yeah, please. It's Simon Doba.
There it is.
Yes, thank you, Crystal.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really honored, and I would like to say a few words, if that is okay.
Yes.
First of all, I want to thank family because we have missed many dinners together when I hung out at the CEC, and of course I want to thank you, the CEC, for your incredible work that you have done during the probably 2 most difficult years in our lifetimes, and for your willingness to listen to all of my concerns. And to the DOE staff, our FACE liaison, Bibi Matadin, Sonia Rueda, Dr. Pate, you have always been there for me during this difficult time. But in particular, the reason why I'm here today is, and I really want to two fellow parents. The reason why I'm here today at the CEC is Venus. I met Venus when I came the first time to the CEC, and we connected, and she reached out to me and she encouraged me to come and to continue to attend CEC meetings. And she said, these meetings give you information, and information gives you power and knowledge. No, these meetings give you knowledge, and knowledge gives you power. So Venus has been inspirational to me. Thank you so much for your encouragement, for your empowerment, for your support. I really appreciate you and all you do for our community. And I also want to thank my PTA co-president, Elaine Liu Wong, because without her, I would not have had the time to come here. She has been, we have shared our presidency at our school. She has been doing the heavy lifting of the PTA work inside the school. And because of her, I was able to attend the CEC meetings and go to all educational meetings. And so I just want to thank you for your support and for being my rock during the last 2 years. And our presidency will end, but our friendship will continue and deepen. And I really hope that I'm going to be able to continue to come to the CEC meetings because I really love this community. And so thank you to all of you. I am because you are, and we are because I am. I really love this community, and please, parents, keep coming. This is an important place to be. Thank you all.
Thank you, and thank you to all the parents who acknowledged. We hope and we will continue to promote that the other CEC, the next CEC, continue this, because we feel we can always build and lift each other up and elevate each other up, always. Every opportunity we have to do that, we should take it and always build each other up, because you know what? It's so easy to find faults, but it's hard to find solutions. So let's find solutions and build each other up. Awesome. Next, we're gonna have New York State John from the 11th Senatorial District, and I would ask Sujin to please unmute, and her and her office will be speaking at this time.
Hi, can you hear me?
It's a little low. It's very low.
Let me just adjust my audio setting. How about now? Can you hear me?
It's a little better, but thank you.
Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone. This is Sujin from State Senator John Liu. I'm very much happy to hear to represent Senator Liu, but actually, Senator Liu will be joining in 5 minutes. So he will be presenting all the certificates of recognition and appreciation, as well as we have a New York State Senate proclamation for wonderful Superintendent Dr. Pate, as well as President BJ. So if you, just give him like 5 minutes. He will
No
be
worries.
shortly.
So just let, just on the chat feature here, just tell me when he reaches there, or just unmute yourself and let me know, and we can call you back, okay?
Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sujin.
Thank you.
I know there's a few parents who want to say back, who received the awards, want to say a few words. Just keep it really short because we have a tight program, please. Irene, go ahead, please.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank everyone for recognizing me for my efforts in keeping the DOE accountable, transparent, and I think everyone will agree that nothing is more important to a community than knowing that our voices are being actually heard and that our children's education is at the forefront of everyone's concerns. And I would like to take this moment and just thank everyone on the CEC, all of its members. You have done an outstanding job. Your effort and your time is just tremendous, how much you have done for this community and for all of our children. I just wanted to thank you all.
Thank you so much. I will ask Shirley Aubin, if you want to say a few words.
I think Simone summed it up very well for all of us. You know, it's been D28 has been my home. It's still in my home. I still live in District 28, just that I'm no longer K through 8. I'm now high schools, but we all love this work that we do. We're giving back to our community, and our one person's success is everyone's success. Again, because we can't do it by ourselves. You know, that old saying, it takes a village. It really does. It takes everybody to be together and finish together. Not one person finish first. Well, all of us need to finish at the finish line. So family and community engagement and empowerment is all about empowering our parents and our community members is where we're going to get where we want to get when in regards to education and social justices and equity for all. So thank you very much. I'm honored, and I'm really touched and honored that I was chosen as a recognized. But we all deserve a hand of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you for all that you do, Shirley. Thank you so much. And you deserve so much more. We all do, right? Thank you. Siobhan Jackson. Siobhan Jackson. Okay, maybe Siobhan is not here right now. We'll call her back later on. Barbara, were you going to say something, Barbara?
No, VJ, already you did what I was gonna say, so
okay.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Barbara. So at this time, my dear friends, we're gonna move right along.
VJ,
yes.
are you continuing the naming of honorees?
One of the parents never responded to us in terms of confirming that she would be here. So I think that's your parent that you had submitted.
She's on.
She's on?
She's on.
Let's do it. Go for it.
At this time, I would like to announce the CC honoree, one of our CC's honorees, Ariana Palacio. Yes. Ariana has shown a dedication and tireless commitment to the children of our district. It is a pleasure and honor to have her be an honoree for CEC District 28.
So Ariana, can you please unmute and say a few words?
Yes, thank you all so much. I have to thank Howard and BJ and everyone else on the CEC over the last 2 years. I have learned so much from you guys. The meetings you have are always welcoming, informative, educational. We use your meetings as a way of forming our own meetings. So thank you so much for everything that you do for our kids and everything that you do for us as parents to support us. I gotta send a shout out to Shirley, who has always been great for me as well. Jessica, and of course, Sonia. Million questions, always answered. And again, thank you for recognizing me, but I have to recognize everyone else on my PA board and all of the parents at PS 196 who have contributed this year, because it really isn't about me, it's about everyone. Everyone who spends even 5 minutes trying to help, spread the word, give information, give support. That's what we need, and that's what's been going on. So thank you for recognizing me. I recognize you, and I recognize everyone else on this call and everyone at our schools and all of our kids. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's have a recognized party. I think we should have a party for everybody. Thank you so much for all that you do, Ariana. We are grateful, and you know the honorees that we have selected, and I want to make sure we let the public know how we selected these members, so you are aware. I had asked each council member to identify one person in the community. One person, it doesn't have to be a parent, it don't have to be, it can be anybody that they felt contributed to this community in a way that they felt requires to be honored. And the various council members submitted these names to us as the council, and that's how we acknowledge and honor these parents across the board. We want to continue this. We want to continue uplifting your work and your voices, and we thank you all for all that you do. Thank you so much. Without further ado, my dear friends, we want to acknowledge somebody who is with us tonight. Her name is Paula DeCock. So Paula, please get your spotlight ready. And something about Paula DeCock. Paula DeCock, when we first started the CEC in 2019, boy, oh boy, it was D28 diversity planning. And we are all coming into this blindsided. We didn't have an administrative assistant. We were switching superintendents. It was a brand new council. I was the only one who came over from the last council with limited experience, but we had Paula DeCock. We did. And, you know, we can't give gifts because, you know, DOE doesn't allow gifts, whatever the case may be, all these rules. However, we wanted to do what we could do today by acknowledging Paula DeCock from FACE. And Paula will tell us what her title is now. But back then she was our liaison, and we were so gifted and happy that we had you, Paula, as our liaison because you held it down. You kept us in line in terms of motivated, knowledgeable, what we can, what we couldn't do. And I know if I ask each council member to say something, they will say 10 times what I'm saying, but we don't have the time to do that right now. But I want to acknowledge, say thank you from all the council members that we are grateful tremendously and thoroughly for you and for what you do, and we acknowledge you. Thank you. Crystal, can you please show what we have for her, please? Spotlight, Crystal, please. And then we'll spotlight back Paula.
Oh, thank you.
What does that say, Crystal?
Oh, we have here?
Yes.
Presented to Paula DeCock. Thank you for playing a crucial role in servicing the community of D28. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really touched.
Excellent. Paula, a few words, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, so really, I'm very, very touched. I always say that CEC28 has always been my favorite CEC. And as you know, I've been around, but what has made it really special is really being part of building this extraordinary group. You know, when we started in September of 2019, it was, as Vijay said, it was an incredibly difficult time, contentious, and you know, the council members were really hungry for knowledge, for you know, and also what I was impressed by was their professionalism. It's been a true pleasure to be part of this, you know, of this council and to have contributed in some way to what the council has done. So thank you so much. And I really appreciate that, what is it called? I don't remember the English word, but those are things, you know, there are all these crystal things. I used to be in the private sector as a lawyer, and we always had these things from deals. And I think this one is so much more meaningful. I have a lot of them from my days as a lawyer, but this one is really meaningful because it recognizes a group of volunteers who really did their absolute best. Thank you so much.
What is your current title now, Paula?
Policy advisor.
Okay, and Paula will stick around later on to give us more information about the current status of the CEC elections. Get some updates on that, so please hang around. Paula, thank you so much.
I will.
We will definitely deliver this award to you, this Crystal Award, Swarovski's crystal. It was handmade and carved out all the way in Sweden. I promise.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just said Sweden. Okay. Thank you so much. Next, my dear friends, we want to acknowledge after Paula took the next step forward, we were nervous about who we gonna get. We had Paula like, oh my God, we had Paula like, she was amazing. And like, who are we gonna get next to help us and to be that person with us in our team, to be our next liaison? And we were nervous. I was nervous because Paula and I worked so well together, and we had a great connection. And in the process, Howard and I interviewed Kreyòl Ayisyen. And this person was the first time we met her was when we were interviewing Kreyòl Ayisyen to be our administrative assistant. And we met Bibi Matadin. And Bibi Matadin was a person in face that well-educated, very smart, intelligent, and she has a little wit to her. And I'm like, wow, I would love to have her as our CEC liaison, but I couldn't say that because you don't want to show favoritism. So, but lo and behold, yes, we got Bibi Matadin, and we have a certificate for her, an award. And actually we have some citations. Hold on one second, please. We have a citation from Senator Leroy Comrie's District 14 office, a certificate of appreciation for Paula DeCock and for Bibi Matadin. We thank you so much for all that you have been doing, Bibi, and all that you have been helping and coaching and building us as a team. We also have certificates of appreciation and citations for Paula and for Bibi from Councilwoman Adrienne Adams' office as well. So at this time, I'll ask Bibi to say a few words. Bibi?
Yeah, good evening. Thanks, VJ. Like Paula said, I mean, these appreciation, they have a special place when they come from our parent leaders. And we thank you. We thank you continuously for your advocacy, for your hard work. I mean, this is unpaid work. You're elected to serve, and you serve your community, right? And we are just happy and honored to be in the spaces with you. And however that work looks in the forefront, and the rewards and the appreciation, that is just extra. But we are here. We are the boots on the ground. We are in the weeds with you. I see nods from Dr. Pate because she knows what I'm talking about. We are here side by side with you, and we want to fight the fight for you, with you, to amplify parents' voices in the community and do what's best and right for our students. And I was truly honored to fill the shoes that Paola left. Certainly are big shoes, but I try my best, and I hope I've made her proud, because I would like to say that she was my mentor when I first came to the DOE, because I was also a council member sitting in the seat that you're currently sitting in. So we have gone a long way back. And I thank Paola for all she has shown me and the experiences and the knowledge she has shared. And I continue to go to her, and she never turns me away. We get those late night texts and phone calls. So thank you, Paola. Thank you, VJ. Thank you, Dr. Pate. Thank you, parent leaders. You are fierce and awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, and we are here for you. Ask the tough questions, hold us accountable. The work is transparent. This is transformative engagement, and we will continue to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And can you spotlight the award? Can you spotlight Kreyòl, Lena, please? Kreyòl is trying her best. Thank you, Kreyòl. You're amazing. There's Paula's, and there's the two of them from Councilwoman Adrienne Adams' office and Senator Leroy Comrie, and then also there's Bibi Matadin's. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. At this time, without further ado, my dear friends, thank you all for your patience. We appreciate that. I want just to check in with Sujin. Are you ready, Sujin?
Actually, Senator Lou is here.
Awesome. Let's do this. Go for it. Take it over. Can you give him the rights to unmute, please?
I always feel accomplished when I am empowered to unmute myself. Yes. Thank you, VJ, for giving me a few minutes. I am honored to represent Sujin Choi Lee on this very special CEC28 meeting. I know you all are used to seeing Sujin in your meetings and love her dearly. every once in a while, she allows me to join the meeting as well. So today, I'm honored to join all of the CEC members, thank them for their continued good work as this school year approaches its end. It has been a really challenging time, and you know, you've stuck through it. You've continued your meetings. You've been the important interface between our parents, who, you know, who care deeply about their kids' education, and you take the complaints from the parents, and then you try to convey them to the Department of Education and elected officials such as myself. And a lot of times you make a huge impact. Sometimes I know how it feels. You feel like you're banging your head up against the wall, not getting answers or the desired results. I think we all try our best, especially in these times that were unimaginable even just a year and change ago. So I first want to thank the CEC members for the incredible work that you continue to do. By the way, we are in our final days of the legislative session in Albany. Next Thursday is our projected last day for the year, and then we'll be back full time in the communities with our constituents, many of whom are, many of you who I have the privilege of representing in Albany. Part of our package of bills that we're passing in the final stretch are some education related bills. One, continuing to make changes to CECs as well as the Panel for Educational Policy. Again, all aimed towards increasing parental input and influence in how our schools are run. In my committee, I'm proud to be the chairperson of the New York City Education Committee in the State Senate. So one of my jobs is really to work with Chancellor Porter and make sure that everything is on track for full-time reopening come September and the summer, and sooner if necessary. But I think realistically, we're looking at a full reopening where all kids will be in person, in class, in school with the opening of the new year. So it's going to be, hopefully, I pray things will be back to normal. But even as things get back to normal, I think there will be lessons that we have learned from this COVID era that we can take forward. You know, even having meetings such as this, I mean, I can't wait to see all of you at a CEC28 meeting in person, and you know, and shaking your hands, and you know, some people I'm gonna hug, and you know, VJ, I'm gonna give you a big kiss, but you know, that's just how we roll. But you know, every so often you might have a CEC meeting scheduled on a day where there's a blizzard, and you know, we now have tools that we can take forward with us into forever. And so I think we get the good and the bad. Mostly the good will retain going forward. I don't want to hog up all the time because I know President Ramjatan runs a tight ship here. I have the privilege of presenting our beloved superintendent, Dr. Tammy Pate, with I guess it's a piece of paper, but it's a piece of paper that I spoke with my colleagues in the New York State Senate about, and they asked me to prepare this award for our District 28 superintendent. Now, I literally just stepped in the door from Albany, so I just got home. So I wasn't able to actually pick up the award, so I could present it in person on my Zoom screen. So I believe Sujin handed to. Did I lose you? Oh, there you go. Okay, there it is. Okay, so you see. Have I lost you guys? Are you still there?
We're here.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I guess Susan flashed it. All right, there you are. Whatever. I think you all got a glimpse of it. You got a glimpse of the raw version as it was printed and signed, and then you got the after version where it has been properly formatted and placed within a frame. So Dr. Pate, well, if you give me about 15 minutes, I'm gonna read the entire Senate proclamation. Okay, I'm just kidding, BJ. Don't have a heart attack. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. It's there for everybody to see, and perhaps you can email a copy of the proclamation to all the CEC board members. But I just want to say that this is a formal proclamation to recognize the experience, the history, the background of Dr. Tammy Pate, what she has done for the New York City public school system, what she has specifically done as superintendent of District 28. And we appreciate all the great work that you have done for the most important people in our lives, which is our kids, especially the kids in school. Thank you, Dr. Pate, for everything you have done. And I have now discharged my responsibilities per my colleagues in the New York State Senate. Thank you, Dr. Pate.
Thank you, Senator Liu. Thank you so very much. Wow.
And yeah, and we'll, in normal times, I give this to you and we take a nice photo together, right, and send it to like CNN, and they'll, you know, but nowadays we're not able to do that, but we will deliver this proclamation to you in your office. And
this is perfect. Thank you.
And at some point I will get a chance to see you in person.
Face to face. Thank you so much, Senator Liu. Thank you.
Take care now. All right, CEC28. Did I do okay, BJ, or did I go well over on time?
Excellent. You're amazing. Thank you so much for showing up and always being present. And we want to also acknowledge that his office also gave awards and recognitions to various members of our council also. And we are grateful and we are thankful. Sujin?
Oh, I mean, Senator Liu, we have one more proclamation for President Vijay Ramjatan.
Oh.
I thought we were gonna save that as a surprise for the very end.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, you let it out of the bag, so now we gotta do it now.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So Vijay Ramjatan, the tightest run CEC I have ever seen, and I've seen a lot of CECs. Vijay, this is for your continued leadership, your unwavering support for our school kids. Your even though you run a tight ship, you always do it with a smile. You're always smiling, and everybody always feels comfortable and never hesitant to contribute their thoughts, ideas, complaints every so often. But at the end of the day, it is all of the input that you are able to not only squeeze out from your fellow CEC28 members, but to elicit and to encourage from the parents, because you know not all parents, every parent feels very strongly about their kids' education. Not every parent always feels comfortable about speaking out about it, and that is part of the leadership that Vijay Ramjatan brings to District 28, CEC 28, and the parents. I think I've gotten a great deal of positive feedback, and that's why we've prepared this New York State Senate proclamation for Vijay Ramjatan, president of CEC 28. And BJ, hopefully in the fall, I will be able to come to an in-person CEC 28 meeting, and we will do this again in person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Liu. Thank you for all that you do and advocate for our constituents. And all of us recognize your hard work, and we are grateful. And thank you. I'm humbled. Thank you so much. Sujin, thank you. And thank you, Crystal, for all your hard work. We truly appreciate everybody. Senator Liu, we will be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Without further ado, my dear friends, CEC28 also have an award for, you know, when we could meet in person, usually we have a celebration. We have dancing and music and lots of food after. And I promise you, we will. CEC28, we will do it. We'll do it. We have to put positivity in the world. We will do it. We want to recognize another person. Her name is Sonia Rueda. Miss Rueda, can you please spotlight Sonia's award in the screen, please? Elena, can you please spotlight that for her, please? Yay, can we all let's text yay, yes, Sonia on this chat, please. Let's do this. Let's give her that courage to continue on. Please, let's do that. Just say yay, yay, yes, yes, Sonia, yes. Sonia Roweda and friends and family and all of you here, know these names. These are the people who are working and advocating, ensuring that your child, my child, and all our children have what it takes to go to school, to have a wonderful education, have access to resources, and you better believe it. We have the best family leadership liaison in the city. Sonia works and works and works. And I don't want to say more because I could go on all night, but I've known Sonia when I was a PTA treasurer back in the days. And she's always motivated me to go to run for higher offices and to do more. And I am so empowered and honored to be calling her today and letting her know that we, the CEC, acknowledge her. Sonia, please unmute and say a few words.
Good evening. Wow. I'm honored. I'm stunned. I'm so grateful. I have been in this district close to 17 years, 18 years. I'm not even counting at this point. And so parents, community engagement is where my heart is. I think that if I can give an opportunity for a parent to be brave enough to step up and say what they need to say for their family, for their children, then I've done my job. I'm also committed to making sure that you know what the policies are, right? Not just to walk in and say, this is what I want, but what I want specifically with the knowledge, right? So that's really where the power is. It's not only the voice, but it's the voice with the knowledge that comes behind it. And I think that's what gives the courage. I've said that to many of you here this evening, a lot of the parents that started out coming to the training, sitting in the back, hiding, and always saying, you can do this, because I've had to do it as a parent, and we do it together collectively. But when you do it with other parents, wow, it's just beautiful, right? To see how it shines, how it bursts. And so I am honored, I am excited, I'm tired, but this is what keeps me going, seeing your excitement, you pushing us, pushing yourselves. And to me, our children are our hearts, but we as parents, we're the ones that really need to be there. And we're the ones that need to nourish ourselves, take care of ourselves, and have the opportunities so that we can be our role models for our kids. So really, thank you. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Sonia, for all that you do. And this award is only a small token for our appreciation. We wish we could do more. To all the parents on board here, you all know, someone please put the district's address on the chat, please. Send a card. I'm asking all of you parents, send a thank you card to Dr. Pate, send a greeting card to Sonia, and say, we are not seeing you, but we are thinking of you. This will motivate and keep them going, because guess what? We may get summer breaks. They don't get summer breaks. They keep working, as Dr. Pate said before, as Narayan said before, the work continues on and on and on and on. Send them a card, 90-27 Sutphen Boulevard. Yeah, put the whole thing, the full address thingy, and send them a card, please. We want to encourage this community support and this community building. We got each other back. Nobody else does. As a district, we have each other back. Sonia, we acknowledge you and we salute you. Thank you for all that you do.
And I'm humbled. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next and last but not least, my dear friends, can you show, let me see, here it is. Last but not least, thank you all for hanging on still. And I appreciate all of you hanging on still. Thank you so much. My beloved fellow council members. I tell you, I get chills talking about this stuff, right? CEC28, I don't know all the other councils, but I know this one. And I know that each of us have different passions. And I know each of us have different concerns and motivations and what we want to see happen. But somehow together, we push everything to make it the best for all children. And somehow together, we have worked and served on this council. All of our members here tonight. One of them is in Puerto Rico right now. He's still calling on. Robert's in Puerto Rico. He's still calling in. He can't talk, but he's on the call right now tonight. This is Elena is not feeling well, but she's here. Erica is traveling down south, but she's on the phone still. This is what it takes. It takes every one of us being present every time. And I tell you, we fight. Like not fight like physical, but we argue. Believe me, we do. But at the end of the day, we know when to compromise, we know when to prioritize, and to push the envelope forward to get things done in this district. That's what you, the parents, elected us to do. That's what you elected us to do, and I'm grateful. So, and for so doing, we have recognitions from the CEC, first of all. Crystal, can you please show it up first? I'll call the name of each person, and you'll show theirs up first. First one we have is for myself. We are from the CEC. We have a plaque that you can hang on your wall. And Crystal, can you please read what it says, please? Can you please read what you says, Crystal?
Okay, so we have 2 years of service. CEC28 member, VJ Remjetin. Thank you for your dedication and service to the D28 community, 2019 to 2021.
Thank you so much. I still have the one that I had from last couple of years ago, but so all our members are going to get one of this. So we have one for Williams. Can you please put it up, please? Our first vice president. And then we're going to give you all a chance to speak after council members. Then we have Elena Amenova. She has one too. There it is, one for Elena Amenova. Because your kids got to see this. My mom and dad did this, right? Andy Meadows King. We have one for him also. We have one, there it is, for Andy Meadows King. We have one for Erica Cooper, our recording secretary. Woohoo! She might be in Florida by now, right? We have one for Micah Morrison. There he is, one for Micah Morrison. We have also one for Ted Chang. Thank you, Ted Chang. We have one for Robert Tamayev, all the way in Puerto Rico. Weather, we're not happy about that, but thank you, Robert. Then we have Howard Pollock. We have one for Howard Pollock. Howard Pollock, thank you so much for your 2 years of service, sir. We have one for Rajwinder Kaur, our newest member who joined us with passion and vigor, and we are going to continue to thank you for all your service and work. Thank you all so much. My dear friends, we have citations. Crystal, did I miss anyone for those?
Citations.
Did I miss any of those plaques?
Oh, for BB and myself?
Yes, let's do this one right now. Let's do it. So you also have one for Bibi Matadin and for, thank you. There you go. And one for Crystal Wise. There you go. Someone take a picture of Crystal. There you go. For their work and their dedication and support. These things are amazing. Please hang up on your walls. Let it shine bright like a diamond. Okay. We also have, my dear friends, citations from Assemblywoman for District 38, Jennifer Rajkumar. And we have citations for all of our members, including Paula Lecoq and Bibi Matadin. We have citations for all of you for your continued service and dedication. And these are not recognitions, these are citations. And there you go. Thank you so much. We also have from Councilman Denique Miller's office, District 27, he represents in the city. We have certificates of appreciation for all of our members, including Paula Lecoq and Bibi Matadin. Thank you so much for your great work and contributions, all the council members. Oh, nice colors. Look at that fancy colors and all that stuff. Look at that. And there is citations for Dr. Pate and for myself also from Denique Miller's office. We thank Councilman Denique Miller for his contributions. We have Senator Leroy Comrie, District 14, certificates of appreciation for all the members. And we also have I have those home here. We have hold on here. We have a proclamation, another proclamation for Dr. Pate from Senator Leroy Comrie's office. Yeah, my camera's all weird. So it's I have it here, I promise you. It's there, it's coming through the camera. Okay, and we also have citations for all of our members. And we also have from our very own Councilwoman Adams' office, District 28. We have citations for myself and Dr. Pate, and we also have certificates of recognition for all of our members, including Paul DeCock and Bibi Matadin. I would like to say thank you to all of you. Congratulations to every single one of you. This took a lot of work to do, tons of work to do to get us organized. Crystal and I have been working on this for a long time now, but we think that we work so hard for the community. We also wish to work, you parents, you council members are part of this community too, and you deserve it. So I'm going to call down the list and ask each council member to make a comment, and then we'll move forward. So first, I am going to call on the amazing, my right hand and left hand all the time. She got my back. She's always there to motivate me to, hey, VJ, where are you? I'm not seeing you in the meeting. My first vice president, Barbara Williams. Barbara.
Thank you so much, VJ. I'm keeping my camera off because I don't want people to see me doing the ugly cry. Yeah, I'm so happy. A couple of people that I want to say thank you to. Sonia, oh my God, if it wasn't for you, I would not be in the position that I am in today. And when you talk about the person sitting in the back, that was me. I remember when I became PTA president and went to Sonia's first training, I sat in the back. Nobody knew I was there. I said nothing. And now look at me. Sonia, I want to thank you very, very much. You take me out of my shell, and I just want, and I have a virtual flowers for you, but for some way, I'll find a way to send some flowers to your house. I won't stalk you, but I will. Shirley, I'm not saying your last name. You know who you are. Thank you very, very much. You're my mentor, my go-to person. I come to you for everything. I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you so much, Shirley, for everything. I want to say thanks to President's Council. Jessica, you've been by my side. We talk about everything. We're more than co-presidents. Thanks, President's Council, for hosting the CEC forum. Thanks for being there for all the CEC, the PTA presidents. Thanks so much, people. I don't want to call everybody's name, but I just want to say thank you all. Thanks to my council members. I love you. Ted, I'm gonna miss you throughout the summer. Honestly, I fight with you more than anybody else, and you know why. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pate. I remember the first time I met you when CEC was meeting you, and I looked at you and I was like, that woman got fire in her feet, and you really, really show who you are. And I just want to say thank you, and I love you. Paula, nice seeing you. Bibi, thank you very much. I go to you too for everything also. Thank you to everyone, and thanks for everything. And I love you all. Mwah.
Thank you, Barbara. Next, we're going to have Elena Aminova.
It's hard to follow that act from our.
You better start kissing and do like all that from now.
Well, first of all, I definitely do agree with VJ when we started off 2 years ago, and I can't believe it's been 2 years, honestly. And I do want to personally thank Paula, because when we started, we were clueless what we were doing. We were lost. And VJ was the only one who was basically had any experience, but we were like, what do we need to do? And Paula definitely held our hands in person back then through a very difficult turmoil of this 2-year term with the controversial topic that was put in front of us, right? Of I'm not even going to call the name of it. So I definitely wanna thank Bibi, who have seamlessly taken on, Paula's difficult and fill those shoes. And our check-ins are so much fun. Once a week or every other week. And the amazing Dr. Pate, who have definitely come in and made it so easy for us to work with. Dr. Pate, you are amazing. You are a model for superintendents, all of the principals here, and within the district are lucky to have you as their support system. Thank you, Dr. Pate, from the bottom of my heart. VJ, I don't think we could have done as much as we have without your great leadership. You are our rock. You are right. We seem like we all agree at all times, but that's not always the case. We have healthy conversations, healthy debates, and we do it for the sake of our children. We do it for the sake of the community, to make sure that we all come out for the best interest of our children within the District 28. And I thank VJ's great leadership and the whole District 28 CEC Council. I can't believe it's the last meeting for us. We might not be elected again, right? So I didn't even realize it when I pinged VJ. I'm like, I'm not feeling well. For those of you who don't know, I am expecting a baby. So I'll be with the district for a long time. So here, made it a public announcement here. And I look forward to engaging with all of you back in person, hopefully getting to those snacks and celebrations when we actually can. And I want to thank all of our principals and administrators who join the meetings from month to month. We know that it's not easy. It's a long day. And we appreciate when you're here, because parents love to see their principals in these meetings. So we appreciate you coming here. And last but not least, I want to thank all of the parents that come here. Our numbers definitely went up. Venus will appreciate it for sure, because I know Venus is always advocating for parents to come to the CEC meetings in person, at least. She's always in the front row when we were in person. But now it's so much easier to get, up to, hundreds of parents remotely. We appreciate all of the parents here tonight, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Elena texted me and said, "VJ, the baby is kicking. I can't do it tonight. I can't co-host. I can't. My back is killing me." I called her. I said, "Listen, we got we have a lot now. Krista, we need you. And this is what our members do." And she said, "I will be there. Say no more." Elena, thank you. Next we have is Andy Matus King. I don't think he's here as yet. Erica Cooper, our recording secretary. Did she drop off?
She says she's in a moose down, so give her some time.
Thank you. She's driving down to Florida. Good. Next, we're going to have Micah Morrison. Micah.
VJ, thank you. It's so wonderful to see everybody and see the awards, so well deserved. It's been quite a 2-year run, and I am so happy and proud to have made the acquaintance and worked with all of you. And I was struck as well, just time and time again through all this, even though many of us strongly disagreed, we always came back, we always tried to reach some consensus. And of course, the major issues are going to remain. The great diversity debate will continue. Unfortunately, the pandemic will continue, and in some ways, the challenges post-pandemic are going to be just as big as the challenges during the pandemic, although not, God willing, not as deadly. I did not run for re-election because, as many of you know, I'm a journalist, and I was approached by several organizations because of my work with the CEC to continue covering DOE and related issues. So when I spoke with DOE, we felt, because there's a lot of confidential information shared with the CEC, that I couldn't do both. And I'm really excited about staying involved with everybody. I'm easy to find on the internet, Micah at micahmorrison.com, or at my CEC address. I look forward to working with my CEC friends and colleagues, and particularly both as a member of this community and a member of the media. I was struck time and again by the dedication of everybody who shows up. We all have so much on our plates, and time and again, parents, teachers, principals, administrators, CEC members, they just showed up and kept plugging along. So it's been a real pleasure, and I look forward to the next stage for my adventure and to supporting the CEC in whatever way I can. Thank you, VJ.
Micah, thank you so much for what you do. Next we're going to have is Ted Chang.
Hi, thank you. Just wanted to thank everyone. And, you know, for me, just reflecting on the last 2 years, you know, I agree. It was just such a ramp up to go from basically just being a regular parent and then suddenly being thrust into the limelight. And so that was really sort of a learning experience. But in addition to kind of the learning experience, I think it was also, what I felt was that over the last couple of years that there was almost like a collective learning experience that we were all doing, you know, for all the folks that were coming to meetings on a regular basis, or, you know, keeping in touch with the news about the diversity plan or things like that. I really felt like there was some sort of like collective growth process that we all had to kind of go through, because none of us really knew how to cope with this, you know, essentially controversial idea that was kind of like just dropped into our laps. And so and so we all basically had to develop these small d democratic skills, you know, in terms of how do we talk to each other, how do we disagree with each other. And I really don't think that it was obvious, because there's no playbook, we had no training, you know, parents certainly had no training, and the CEC members had, I mean, basically there was no playbook. And so for us to kind of go from where we were 2 years ago to where we are now, and just sort of sorting through these ideas together. And I really feel like I learned so much from everyone in the community. And I mean, just the number of ideas that I would have to pick through and say, like, I picked out, you know, a great idea from this community member, and I saw this CEC member, you know, behaving in this way, and it taught me something about how to deal with these issues. I mean, there are just so many small things that I learned over the course of the last 2 years. And, you know, anyways, I just think it was, you know, we all as a community really grew. And I think that's, you know, hopefully, hopefully whoever's on the council next can just help the community move forward. And thank you everyone to your efforts and your advocacy.
Thank you, Ted Chang. Next, we have Robert Tamayev. Robert, are you able to speak? Put the margarita down. I'm joking, no. Robert is in Puerto Rico. Robert, can you speak? I'm asking you to unmute. I'm not sure if you
So I'm just in a very proud of place. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all the parents. I want to thank all the leaders for all the help. So great to see Paula again, all of us, Dr. Pate, Paula, Bibi, we were all thrown into a very aggressive, would be the word I'll use, term, but like everyone said, we did work together. We all came together, and I'm glad that we had different points of views, but we were able to get together as a team and do as much as we did. I hope the next group can do even more and work together. And I really hope the best for all of us and all of our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. Next
You're
person,
muted, VJ.
Thank you. Next person we have is our first Borough President appointee, Howard Pollock.
Thanks, VJ. I mean, what can I say that actually hasn't already been said? So I'm going to be very brief. Dr. Pate, got to tell you, I know you work for DOE, but when you deal with the DOE bureaucracy, you need a friend. You need a buffer. You need somebody who can fight for the interests of D28. And I have to tell you, there's no one better than you. We are so lucky to have you as our ally, as our heavyweight champion in the ring, fighting every day for the children of this district. It's hard. I don't know how you do it. I couldn't do it. And if I had a hat, I would take it off to you. We are so lucky to have you. We are blessed to have you. Paula, it's so nice to see you again. We miss you. We love you. Although your shoes could never, ever be filled, Bibi was amazing, and we treasure her. Bibi, Paula, thank you both for being there, just being there for us and guiding us. To our president, VJ, wow. guiding us like a ship's captain through the shoals. Amazing, just wonderful. Your leadership, your dedication, your commitment, your intelligence, and your good sense of humor stood you well in this job. It is appreciated and noted. To all my colleagues, thank you for being there for me personally, and for your dedication to this district. Crystal, thank you for your hard work. Wonderful. Always there, just above and beyond. Lastly, to the parents of this district, you are the ones, you and your children, you are the ones we are here for. You are the ones that are most important, ever most important in our minds. So when we first got started, thrown into the diversity plan, I have to tell you, I wasn't prepared. It was absolute craziness for a long, long time. I can't tell you how many parents I met with personally. Thank you for every one of you who sat down with me and outlined how you felt. It guided me. And I just want to say thank you to everyone here for you all believe, as I do, in the future and the present and the past, but especially for our children. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Pollack. Next we have is Rajwinder Kaur, and I saw Erica join back. So after Rajwinder, I'll call on Erica. Rajwinder?
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Seriously, I'm so honored to be a part of this CEC. You know, I still remember the day when BB interviewed me. She was like, I'm always there. She was the first person whom I met virtually, even though I joined the council late, but it was a great journey. BB, Dr. Pate, Vijay, they were always my motivations. I always see them, oh my God, it's like, it's not like every day you have a chocolate, but someday you got to eat some sour things too. But you guys were so amazing and so patient. I learned a lot of things from you, joining late. It's not like late, it's like from so many years. I would really love to join again and want to learn more and more things. And most importantly, I got to know, the importance of the parents, why we are here, only for the parents. So parents gave us opportunity to rise. They asked so many questions and we got to learn and answer them. They made us to study in the depth. So we are there for them. We tried our best. We tried to serve them at our best. And thank you again. And above all these appreciations, thank you. I'm in sky 9, Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your service, Rajwinder. Erica Cooper? There you.
Hello, thank you. I'm driving right now in the area. I might lose service, but I definitely wanted to say, piggyback on what everybody else was saying. And one of the reasons why I joined the CEC in the beginning is because if a child is going to be successful, it starts from the home. And as parents, we need to be there for our kids. We have to advocate for our children's education. And one of the actresses actually said it best of all, Regina King. She said that it is important to use our platform to amplify voices that aren't normally heard. And I feel that as being a part of the CEC, I was able to do that. We were able to do that. And I am so thankful. And as I embark on my new journey, for those who don't know, I am actually moving to Florida. I am doing that right now. I just want to say thank you for everything. It has been a roller coaster ride, but with the thrills, the chills, the ups and the downs, it's been a great one. And for that, I say thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. And you can hang all these certificates of New York City on your Florida home when you go down there and let them know that the great NYC loves you and they better appreciate you down there. You know, listen, thank you all, council members. Thank you so much. And echoed across this whole thing, it was a name that, you know, we don't hear a lot, but she's always in the background. And Miss Crystal Weiss, can you please say a few words, Miss Weiss?
Hey, oh, thank you. I'll make it quick as well. I just want to thank, first and foremost, both FACE liaisons, Paula DeCock and Bibi Matadin. They have been so helpful towards me, especially during this pandemic. It's been crazy for everyone, and I'm the newest one of the bunch. So I just want to thank you for your support, and I want to thank VJ Presidente. Also great working relationship with you. You've really shown me the ropes when it comes to councils. I appreciate you greatly for that. And all of the members, I love you all. It was great to get to know everyone and to play a part in this great work that's being done for the community. And I really hope to see everyone in person soon. And just thank you all. I really appreciate all of your well wishes and thank yous. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much, Crystal. So someone who she's not expecting me to call her, but I want to acknowledge her, and I have all her awards here, but I cannot show it because it's like, my screen is like a little crazy. So this person, we had a first, when we joined the CEC, all of us for the first time, we had our Mrs. Darboui. She was our Mabel Sardoui. She was our first superintendent when we joined the council. And this person was the deputy superintendent of the district. And we only saw her at the meeting sitting in the front row, and she would speak only when Ms. Sardoui could not be present. And then Ms. Sardoui got promoted to Queens North as the executive superintendent. And then we had the amazing Sue Kang. Sue Kang. And I can't say enough. I don't know what to say. Sue Kang came in again right before Dr. Pate. She was the acting superintendent of District 28. And I want to take this moment to acknowledge you, Mrs. Kang. You lead with passion. You lead with heart. I remember many times you and I would sit next to in the table of the meeting in person, because you were with us for most of the in-person meetings, actually. And something that we did as this council for the first time is we said we're going to have our meetings across the district. We were not going to have them in the office only in the headquarters, but we'll meet our parents where they are. And guess what? Mrs. Kang will be there with us at every meeting, and they were tough questions. But Ms. Kang, you taught me to be a good leader. I learned from you. You and I walked through many schools together, and your leadership, your calmness of leadership, your trust and positivity, I will forever cherish. Ms. Kang, I have your awards for you, and we have from the CEC also. We have a plaque for you also. And also we'd like to have you say a few words, Ms. Kang. So, you know, these are the ones who are behind the scenes that we don't hear about, right? Ms. Kang, please unmute yourself. I'm gonna ask you to unmute and say a few words, please.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am so happy to be here, and thank you, VJ.
Ms. Kang, your volume's a little low from where you sit.
Okay.
Come up a little closer because we want to hear
Can
you.
you hear me better now?
It's better.
Okay. So thank you, VJ. And, you know, I am very proud of District 28. I'm very proud of the principals in District 28. I cannot say how much is it that, you know, all our principals are at the forefront, you know, serving community, serving our children, leading them to success. And I am so honored to work alongside with you, VJ, and the CEC, with the parents of District 28, with our amazing Dr. Pate, superintendent, and our amazing team. You know, we have a good team. I want to also acknowledge them, Dr. Martin Santos, Doreen Duff, Cherise Black, and we have Sonia Rueda, that, all of them are cheering for her because she's always there for the parents. We have our Rosa Fenton, and of course, Nally Jackson, who is also there, helping us, supporting us all the way. So, we are always for parents and children. I, along with everyone, have so much faith in our children. Our children are scholars. They are leaders for tomorrow. They are our future. And I have so much hope in them. And my desire is for them to be leaders that lead and change the community. They are going to be the person who will really be the agent of change and be there for us, when they grow up. We are the one that is going to be, at our older age, and they will be for us, So I thank you. I thank you for acknowledging, this time for me. And, I really appreciate all of you. I cannot say how much is it that principals and our assistant principals, they work so hard. They are the backbone and the pillars, for the principals. And then finally, I want to acknowledge teachers. Teachers, they are there for the children. We went through a lot with the pandemic. We went through hoops and hurdles and changing of programming. But you know what? They are the one who is always for our children. And I just want to thank all of you. I truly, down from my heart, appreciate, and I will work alongside with you anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, before we move to our question section, there's coming up right now, we're going to have our question. We have Venus, Irene, Lemore, Fatima, Simone, Jihan, Latifa Lewis, Elizabeth Polkovitz, and Ari Feldman. So please be ready to have your comments ready in a few minutes. Last but not least, my dear friends, we don't have the time to do it, but all the principals who are here meeting after meeting. Principal Patricia Mitchell had emailed me once and said, VJ, I am motivated by the CEC. I have never been so inspired to join these meetings and come to these meetings. And that gave us so much fire to keep on serving. But your words and your dedication, Principal Greco and all the other principals that's here tonight, Principal Angela, we have all of you who are here tonight, and we want to encourage you. And please tell your fellow colleagues, it means so much when we see you in the room. You have no idea. I try my best as president to always ask you to put the name principal next to your name so we can highlight you, because you are the teachers, you are the parents, you are the superintendent, you are everything in that school. And we acknowledge that, and you are the heroes, and thank you for your leadership. We recognize you, and I wish we could give all these Globans and mighty awards to all of you. Thank you. Also our teachers. For the teachers who are here tonight, we cannot thank you more than enough for also adjusting. And this was tough for all of us, but it was especially tough for you to adjust and adjust and adjust and adjust. And you're still adjusting to all the curriculum and everything that's happening. And so much more is being asked of you with the same pay. So let's get teachers some more money. Let's get them some more pay. Let's have a protest, a rally. Let's make sure they get paid well, because guess what? They deserve it. Finally, my dear friends, our custodians, our lunch aides, our library technicians, our school crossing guards, all of you who joined to make this community what it is, I am saying to all of you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, my dear friends, you're going to have public comments, and then we'll end our meeting. Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience. For sticking by. I really appreciate all of you sticking by. The first person we're going to ask you, it's our last meeting. Don't take too long. I don't want to call stop kind of thing. It's our final meeting. So I'm just going to say your piece, leave room for everyone else, please. Venus Ketchum, go ahead. Can someone help me to unmute them, please? I'm going to ask Venus, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening. Unmute, Venus.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, great.
Okay, great. Good evening, everybody. Exciting last meeting of the 2020-2021 school year. It was exciting to hear all the honorees and the people acknowledged and the awards given. Well deserved. Definitely give people their flowers now. I'm the first one. Which is exciting, but also I just want to acknowledge the council. I just realized, like, wow, 2 years went by so fast, and it's exciting and it's kind of terrifying to see what's going to happen next year as far as, who we're going to get or how it's going to work, going back into the schools full force. I do always want to stay, in my lane, which is parent empowerment, ensuring that parents are on these calls, and also leaving in a celebratory note, but with fire and passion to ensure that families are satisfied, that families have a seat at the table when the conversation comes up this summer around school reopening. Because what is going to happen is that we're all saying our goodbyes, and from June 25th until September 15th or 13th, when school starts again, parents and families are going to be on vacation and they're not going to be at those tables. Parents should have an option for remote. There needs to be a survey taken in District 28, in all districts in Queens and all districts across the city to see what parents and families want in regards to schools reopening. The chancellor does not get to make the final say without weighing heavily the voices and opinions of families and parents, many of who may not be ready. And I'm not speaking for me personally, because I'm ready to kick my son to Bayside High School. But there's families who do not trust the system, who have been devastated by COVID, and they don't want their children in buildings, and they have that right. Every child, 100%, 1.3 million children should not have to go back into the building if that's not their choice. It must be a choice. Parents must fight for that. They must be honest with themselves. The school and the system must be honest with the conditions of our schools, with the overcrowding of our classroom. 33 students, it's impossible. And parents should always and always do have a choice in how their child should be educated. For 18 months, remote was shoved down our throats, and if parents want another 18 months to decide, they have a right to it, and that needs to be discussed throughout the summer when everybody's on vacation. So please do not forget. Thank you.
Okay, well, before Irene go, I want to have great news for all of you also. We have great news for the Queens community. The SCA has informed the council, D28, that a building lot has been acquired on 185-18 Hillside Avenue, 185-18 Hillside Avenue in Jamaica, Queens, Jamaica Hills, to build a high school, holding approximately 801 seats. Please feel free to I'm going to put the link on the chat over here where you can submit comments, feedback to the SCA. And please, they're accepting comments and feedback until July 20th, 2021. Again, the SCA has told the CEC that they have acquired a lot to potentially build a high school right here in Queens on Jamaica Hills, 185-18 Hillside Avenue, to hold 801 seats in a high school for students in our district. That's great news that that investment is happening, but please feel free to join and give comments. Irene, please go ahead.
Good evening. My question or comment is about reopening schools this fall. As we all know, Mayor de Blasio recently announced that the plan is to have 5-day-a-week in-person instruction. And he said that this announcement is based on his anticipation that the CDC will relax the distancing requirements that are currently at 3 feet for public schools. And the question that I have for the DOE is what happens if the CDC does not relax its requirement as the mayor anticipates? Will we still have 5-day-a-week school and the kids will not be separated 3 feet, or will we have school as many days a week as each school can accommodate? For instance, right now with 3 feet, some schools, and it's way more than 10% of schools in New York City, as the mayor said, it's only 10, it's not 10. They are not able to accommodate all of the students who wish to be in person 5 days a week with 3 foot distancing because the schools are overcrowded. Some schools are able to. But if the 3 foot distancing requirement is still there and the DOE chooses to follow those guidelines from the CDC, how can they promise that we're going to have 5-day-a-week school under those circumstances? And I would also like to echo what Venus has just said about remote option. That should still be an option for those who would like to have it for various reasons, either because they don't feel safe enough to send their children to school, or for reasons such as some kids cannot tolerate masks, even though they do not have underlying medical reasons that prevent them. It's just they get dizzy and they cannot breathe in a mask for 7 hours straight, even with short mask breaks. So for all those people who choose to do remote, that should still be an option. And I agree with Venus that there should be some kind of survey or something taken like that, where the public that sends the children to public schools, we should have the choice of what kind of education is offered. But that is a side note. My main question is, how can the DOE guarantee to us that we will have 5-day-a-week school if the CDC does not relax the distancing requirement?
Dr. Pitt, do you have an answer? You want to comment, take notes? What do you want to say?
Yeah, so obviously we don't have an answer for that question because it relies heavily on decision-making outside of our purview, out of my authority. It will complicate things if we are unable to get move from 6 to 3 and then whatever happens after that. It will complicate our ability to bring all students back 5 days a week. Our district is very, very crowded. It is because it's such an exceptional district.
Yeah.
And that will mean, oh, so great, Narayan is coming in. So that will mean that we're gonna have to really think a lot about how we bring all children back 5 days a week. That is our intention, Narayan.
Yeah, so just a couple of quick things on that. We've already started that work with space planning. And so right now, some schools have students in 5 days a week. And one of the major challenges is that many of our teachers are also remote right now. And we've done the calculation. So for many of the schools, and by many, I mean the vast majority, greater than 80%, if we are at 3 feet in September, we can have at least 80% of our students back in 5 days a week, as long as we have all of our staff back in 5 days a week. Because right now, many of our schools, we're not using every classroom because we simply don't have the staff to teach in those rooms. But if we're using all of our classrooms and we're at 3 feet, the vast majority of our schools, in excess of 80%, will be able to open at 3 feet. So they've already done that work. There are a number of schools, we've got a couple of hundred, where, you know, you think of some of our high schools in Queens. I mean, Forest Hills, Francis Lewis comes to mind. They're at 160, 200% capacity. There's no social distancing that's going to fix that. If you're at 3 feet or 6 feet, some of those buildings are just physically impossible to do 5 days a week with social distancing. But again, for the vast majority, greater than 80% of our schools, if we're at 3 feet, we can do 5 days a week.
So for those schools, I'm sorry to interrupt, for those schools that cannot accommodate everybody with distancing, even if it's 3 feet, not 6, what will happen? Will some other space be available for these students to go to school for 5 days a week, or will they be doing hybrid?
We don't know yet. That's what they're working on right now. That is the work that we just started last week. And because we know that these challenges are coming up, so we're looking at every possible alternative and whatever is possible. We're going to work on those mechanisms over the summer. That is the work, and it literally started last week.
Thank you so much, Narayan. And we'll love to have you come back. I mean, I'm not speaking for the next council, but I will encourage the next council, and Dr. Pate, of course, will definitely make sure to bring you back and other team members to update our parents. They deserve to know and have a say also in this process too. Next we have is Limor Nesser. Limor, I have asked you to unmute.
Hi, everyone, and congratulations to everyone that got an award, and it's very well deserving. Not to take from your time, I want to please emphasize the Summer Rising program in terms of how do we make sure that all the parents that are waiting for an answer will get an answer in a timely fashion in the next week or two, because parents need to make plans for their kids. And if they are rejected for whatever reason, I've seen people commenting that they were rejected for whatever reasons, you know, they need to make plans. So how do we make sure that all the kids will be in their spots in a timely manner? And if you can respond to that, please. And thank you for everything that you revealed and worked on to make this happen. And the other one that I want to say is about the admissions to high schools and middle schools for next year, since we know that it's going the plan is to go to in person. How are the admissions for high schools and middle schools for next year are going to look like? Is it going to be admissions like auditions, for example? Is it going to be in person? What is the plan? Are we planning on going back to normal life?
Thank you, Limor. I'll ask Dr. Pate and Ryan if they have to comment.
Yeah, so Lamar, first of all, thank you for just being an ambassador for families everywhere. You all have no idea how she has been advocating with regard to the Summer Rising and about seats and about some of the other, experiences that we parents are having across our district. So thank you so much for all that you are doing. Your communications are being heard at Central, and we are talking about them. I had a conversation yesterday, a conversation today. And so we are pushing that the word that has been put out to our families is a word that is kept. It's a promise that is kept, that all of our children will have a seat in our schools for Summer Rising. And that is a promise that we are looking to keep. And so we are doing everything within our power. And Ryan, I know I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble, but I just feel like you have to be careful what you say. And when you say it, you've got to keep your word. You got to keep your word. And so that's where we are right now. That is my press. That is my conversation. That is my text messages to the powers that be. Those are my emails to everyone who care to read them and those who don't care to read them. We are advocating for every one of our families to get the seats that are promised to them. With regard to admissions for high schools and middle schools moving forward, obviously we don't have any kind of written guidance with regard to that. I can imagine that as we return to school as normal, that we will begin to be able to hold auditions in person, that there will be some kinds of assessments that can be administered in person. We will get some semblance of normalcy back. And I know, Narayan, you're going to jump in and give us some cold hard facts. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you.
So, yeah, in terms of rejection and waitlisting, the only time that a parent would see a rejection from the DYCD portal is if let's say they are an elementary school, their child is elementary school age, and they're applying to a site where there's only a middle school CBO and the elementary school CBO is not in place yet. Because of the age of the child, they may get a rejection saying that, your child has to be middle school age to apply to this site at the moment, because those are the only CBO grade bands that are supported. And then if that happens, they have the option to fill out that parent survey that's on the DYCD site, which automatically puts them on the wait list, so that when the CBO, the elementary school CBO in this case, is in place, Central will reach out to the parent directly, let them know that the CBO is in place and that their application is being processed. That's what's happening right now. And it's happening citywide. So as of this morning, we have 7,600 students who are waitlisted in that particular category, because there's a handful of CBOs that have not been placed yet. That's an ongoing process as well, unfortunately. But as they're being finalized and added, the Central itself is reaching out to those parents and letting them know that the CBO has been placed and that their application is now being processed. So
could you also speak to the remote option, which came after the application was open? Could you?
The remote option is only available to students who are mandated for summer school. So for students who are in grades 3 to 8 and are mandated for promotion reasons that they must attend summer school, those are the only students who have the option of being remote, as well as our 12-month IEP students who are traditionally in the ESY program in the summer. Those students also have the option of being remote this summer, but those are the only two populations that have the option to be remote. And so for the mandated students who, for academic reasons, are required to attend summer school, if they choose to be remote, they are going to be serviced by our same licensed DOE teachers who are going to be live at a site that's actually in District 28. They're going to be at one of our annex buildings, and they're going to be teaching live from that building to the remote students. They're going to be using the iLearn platform to support them. And that will be run as a borough-wide initiative.
Thank you, Narayan. I have a question for you just to follow, because I received Lemore's letter also. And my question would be, like, is there any certainty or level of confidence that you can say that every child who applied for a summer rising program seat that will be given a seat?
That is the promise that was made. I know budget-wise, they budgeted for 100,000 students. We have 59,000 applications right now. Realistically, what the main technical obstacle that I see right now is obviously, when they made this initial plan, we know that in real life, not every school is going to get the same number of applicants. And so some schools and some buildings are going to get more applicants than others. And that's what we're seeing right now, is that there's an imbalance, that there are some sites that just are not getting a lot of applicants. And then there are other sites that are getting 800, 900 applicants. And so that's the challenge right now, is to make sure that the sites that are getting an enormous number of applications, that they don't hit or exceed the building capacity. Right? As long as we can put them in, that we have classroom space with the social distancing requirements that we have right now, as long as we can fit them in the building, we can bring in more staff to support the students. The only real challenge is if we, for some reason, hit the building capacity number, that's when those students will not be able to be accommodated in that building. And then we may have to move them to a nearby site. That's, for me, realistically, that's the only limiting factor that we see right now.
Totally. And I just think it's unfair that if the northern side of our district, that they were from Lemore's letter, that there's only one school with 100 seats for 10 schools.
Yeah, well, the 100 seat thing, I think Dr. Pei is going to talk about the number of sites in the north, but I just wanted to say again, the 100 seats is not a true number. That was an initial number that was given in the initial contract to the CBO. All of those contracts are subject to revision based on the number of students who actually enroll.
Thank you.
UICD is going to increase all of those caps based on the number of students who actually enroll.
Thank you. Dr. Pate?
So we currently have 13 sites open across our district. I'm just going to read them. If you would allow me, I'll read the sites out. PS40 will house, I can give you the breakdown of schools. I have a, sorry, my sheet is frozen. I have the following sites. PS40 is open, and that will house approximately 3 schools. PS50 is open. Middle school 72 is open. PS220 is open. The building number, I'm working on from a spreadsheet that is frozen in time. It will not allow me to expand. Building number Q276 is open. Building number 314 is open, which is PS117. Building number 30, which is PS354, is open. Building MS217 is open. Middle school 190 is open. Public school 55 is open. Middle school 157 is open. And middle school 182 is open. All of those schools will have, except for 157 and 217, all of the other schools will have a combination of elementary and middle, except for the middle schools only. So the middle schools that are open, 190, 217, 157, 2 of them will have a combination of elementary and middle. And so we have a very, very good sort of number and array of schools that are open. And then of course we have the one remote only school, and that is located at in the public school 99 building. And so instructors, teachers will come into that building on a daily basis, but that is not open for children. That is the remote site for Queens. Again, we have a good amount of our buildings that are open across our district so that we can facilitate families not having to travel, across the Van Wyck in order to have their students attend in person.
Thank you, Dr. Pate. And I want to remind parents, Paula de Kock is waiting patiently to speak about the CEC elections, and we're going to have a talk about it in a very few minutes. I don't see Fatima Actor. I don't see you on board. I look for your name. So we're going to move to Simone Dornbach. Simone? I'm going to ask you to unmute now. Go ahead.
Fatima is a fellow parent from PS303, and she apologizes. She had to leave the meeting. I want to add to the voices prior to me. I'm very concerned that there is no remote learning option in September. My kids have been remote since March 2020, and we had a very good experience. I would love to send my kids back to school. That is not really the issue, but I really feel that we should have an option. Just like my speakers before, we need to have more information about what the DOE is planning to do. How are you going to keep our children safe? How will you put 30+ children into one classroom without changing the guidelines? And why would you change the guidelines when the virus hasn't changed? And I feel in particularly disappointed that we have not been asked to give our input, and we are a district school. So PS303 has elementary kids coming from all over the district. Those kids have to use public transport. There is no vaccine available at this current moment. So the DOE is asking to have the kids come take the subway, take the bus that's packed in the morning, and basically infect everybody in the classroom. This is really something where I'm like, why are they not thinking more about every school situation and not just a few? And I also want to echo what Stella had mentioned in the chat. I had families approaching me. They are very worried. Asian families are worried to send their kids to school. And it's not only about the climate itself. Within the school, we try our best within our school community to really make sure that this doesn't happen. But they are worried to walk their kids to school. Because you can't use public transport, you have to walk them. I know personally families who have been harassed on Queens Boulevard when they were walking with their kids while their kids were present. So this is an issue that the DOE has to take seriously. The DOE needs to come up with an option for parents, needs to be more forthcoming with information and details. What are you going to do to keep our kids' safety?
Thank you, Simone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jean Han.
Hi, thank you, everyone. Before I start asking the tough questions, I would like to thank everybody. 2 years have gone by. You guys have gone up as a team, everybody. You guys have done a fantastic job holding everybody together through COVID. So congratulations to everybody, all our CEC members, our DOE team. Now I'm going to start with the hard stuff. So number one, GNT, gifted and talented. The mayor promised a public engagement session. We have not heard a single word about it. The last time they tried to recraft GNT, they did not have a single citywide GNT principal or parent on that team. That was, I'm talking about the SDAG report. We must have parent engagement on this, and particularly current GNT parents who know what that program is about and understand and can advocate for it. Number two, digital learning. Bill de Blasio today brought up in his press briefing that we need to close the digital divide. We can do a lot with digital learning, and he alluded to we are going to use digital learning to individualize instruction so that kids on their own time can go a lot further than they were able to go before. What does that mean? Is that more remote learning, more virtual learning in the classroom, more Zoom in a room? We need clarification on this, because we know that that is not really the best way for children to learn. In-person teaching with in-person classrooms, in-person teaching is the best way for children to learn. If there is more digital learning along the way, it's going to be just more reason for people to leave the system. And then the last thing I'd like to bring up is I'd like to really express some dismay at the lack of voice from the DOE in general about the rising uptick in Asian hate and also anti-Semitism. There is just been, it's very, we have a lot of Asians in our community. We have a lot of Jewish people in our community. And to hear some of the things that's been going on and some of the violence that's been happening, we need the DOE to speak out. You know, somebody in leadership needs to speak to the families and just reassure them that we matter, that everybody matters, and that there should be no words of hate in our schools. So that's it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the past 2 years. Congratulations.
And thank you for all of you all do too. Thank you for keeping us abreast, keeping us in check. Thank you, all of you parents. Natifa Lewis.
Hi, good night, everyone. I just want to echo the voices of all who have congratulated Dr. Pate, Superintendent Kong, Bibi, Sonia, the entire council. And I also just had like some concerns related to reopening for the fall. And I want to actually tie it to the loopholes that we identified even at the beginning with summarizing. Okay, parent leaders are finding out, you know, after the fact. For example, I remember Jessica mentioned that she didn't know that PS220 is the site. She is the PA president there. She's a co-president for President's Council. Principal Mitchell mentioned that even as principals are getting these students from everywhere and applaud the mayor's program, they don't know what the needs are of these students. So it seems like the stakeholders who should have the information are not getting them in a timely fashion. And if this is happening for summarizing, which lasts for what, 2 months, what guarantee do we have that reopening for September is going to be any less of a disaster than it was last year? Okay, last year in mid-August, we were getting change in information every week, often coming to meetings by the district, you know, CCs, etc. We were learning more information, sometimes before the principals, who in turn then were learning sometimes at the same time with the teachers. That's not an effective system. Okay, so what processes do we as parents have in place to kind of hold the DOE accountable? Because if you don't know what is happening, you cannot raise your voice, you do not know where to give the input, but all our children are being affected. So that's just like some of the concerns that as a lot of things are going on recess. We're having new councils, we're having new PTAs, we're having a lot of people are retiring, etc. So there's just a void. And I just see that the situation for September, as nicely as it's being painted, is likely to be more of a disaster than it was last year.
Thank you, Natifa. Points taken. I'm sure everyone ears and pens are writing. Thank you. Next we have is Elizabeth Polkovitz.
Hi, I want to thank everybody who's on this call who is in service in some way. Your leadership and service is really appreciated. But I'm here to talk about a real crisis of engagement that I'm seeing in our schools. There are D28 schools that are struggling to put together PTA boards for next year. And this is, from what I've seen on the internet and speaking to my friends, this is a crisis that's happening around the city. A lot of schools have had a class graduate, and the incoming class that came in this year, some of those kids and parents have never been able to set foot in the building. And it's resulting in a real crisis of engagement that I think really needs to be addressed by family and community empowerment. And one key ingredient, I think, is that I would like to see the chancellor's regs updated to allow for some kind of remote meeting capacity to continue post-pandemic. One of the great things about the pandemic, and there hadn't been very many, is that we've had CEC meetings with 140 people on the call. Tonight at our peak, we were up around 70. Now, in the before times, we would have maybe had 10 people who weren't getting a citation tonight out in the room. And this kind of engagement is really important. And at PS 144, we've had PA meetings where we've had 40 and 50 parents some months. And in a normal year with better than average daily engagement, we were often struggling to hit quorum for a PA meeting, because it's very difficult when you're balancing your demands as a parent and trying to get dinner on the table to get back to a school. So I would really like to see family and community empowerment push for a change to the chancellor's regulations to allow for some kind of remote voting to continue and for some kind of remote meeting component to be able to continue. I don't think that all meetings should be remote, and I would like to see some kind of hybrid system emerge from this, because there is power of being in a room together. But this is really, really important, and it's a real opportunity for something positive to come out of what has been a difficult experience for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And point taken very clearly. Yes, we definitely, and I'll encourage the next CEC to fight for that aspect of having some form of a remote connection to CEC meetings. And also, hopefully, if you're elected to that, along with other people here, we can put our voices together and really
Absolutely.
to happen. Dr.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was mute. I apologize. I'm sorry. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. That is a space that we should lean heavily into.
Yes, we will definitely. You know us. We got big mouths in D28, and we'll go and protest somewhere. Now, Ryan, look out for us. We're coming. Ari Feldman, please unmute, sir. I just asked you to unmute, and then we'll have Paula DeCock will speak about the CC elections right after.
Thanks. So, of course, there's like a loud truck that comes right by right when I unmute. Thanks so much, and I want to echo what everybody has said. It's been a real privilege to see this CEC do some amazing work in some really difficult times. I especially want to thank you, VJ, for your unwavering leadership and your unwavering dedication to students and families. And it's really obvious how much you care about being a public servant and putting the needs of the community first. So I really want to thank you for that. I also, this is going to sound like a bit of a non sequitur after all of the conversations from tonight, but there was a report that just came out about school diversity nationwide. And I just wanted to kind of promote this because I think it's a real eye opener. The National Coalition on School Diversity came up with a metric for the most diverse and most segregated school districts. And District 28 is the second highest on their list in the entire country. So I just wanted to kind of promote that. And one of the things that we know, obviously, segregation is partly because of housing and the way that housing structures are. It's also partly because of the way that we funnel kids to different schools. Our screening process, as Jean mentioned earlier, that is one of the ways that we end up creating more segregation. Yeah, so I think it's just an important conversation to continue to have. I look forward. I know that the city council this past year said that all school districts are going to have diversity conversations, and I look forward to those starting up again and having some real genuine conversations. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. And again, I want to thank the CEC. I did see you guys have a survey out on GNT. A little concerned about some of the questions on there because they some of the questions didn't give you an opportunity to say that GNT is not something that you think is right for families, and certainly for your own family. But other than that, again, I really appreciate all the work that you guys have done over the past 2 years, and it's been a real pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you. So thank you, Ari, which is a good segue. We do have a survey that we sent out multiple times already to all the schools. So if your school community did not send it out to you, please reach out to your parent coordinator. Please reach out to your school principal and ask them, where is the survey from CEC28? So in conjunction with the town hall that we had, where we collected parent feedback from about GNT, we are also doing a survey where we had the council that we put questions together, and we have the survey going out. We're going to have the form. Ted, can you please put the link on the, there it is, the link. Excellent. Here's a link for the survey. Please, also on the chat, please fill it out. Ari, your feedback is important. Thank you so much. And to all of you who always speak, all the parents who always come and speak here, thank you for keeping us motivated to keep serving and to elevating your voices and your questions. Paul Lecoq, you are next on CEC elections. Thank you for your patience.
Hi. So actually, I wanted to just say a couple of words about the remote meetings because that's one of the things I also work on. Yes, there is an initiative to revise A660 to make PTA, to allow for the possibility of PTA meetings to be remote. Unfortunately, there's a difference between PTA meetings and SLT and CEC meetings. SLT and CEC meetings are subject to the open meetings law, which is not really that friendly to remote meetings because although it allows meetings to be held via video conferencing, the law was written before the age of Zoom and a lot of digital media, but it does say that it is allowed only if the public can attend at all of the places where the members are present. So if you are sitting in your kitchen and you are participating in a Zoom meeting, it's fine for, it's fine to have the meeting in a meeting that's subject to the open meeting law on Zoom, as long as, of course, you're allowed to invite people into your kitchen. That doesn't work, obviously, but I think, this is a state law, so it's not something that the DOE can really do anything about. My sense is that there will probably be some changes. The reason you can have remote meetings now is because there is an executive order that suspends the open meetings law. At some point that will come to an end. But again, this is something that perhaps you can think of in terms of advocacy with the state legislature, because this is a state law. So sorry about that little detour. But
we're gonna fight, Paula. We're gonna start fighting to the state very soon. Don't worry. Elizabeth, myself, and a whole bunch of us gonna start doing that very soon. But go ahead.
I think it is reasonable to have some kind of an exemption for parent bodies. For the reasons that Elizabeth mentioned, anyway. So I don't want to prolong this any longer, but elections, CEC elections. I am actually the co-manager along with my colleague Diana Iqbal of the CEC elections. So what I'm telling you is like, so, okay. There's a perception out there, which I didn't quite realize, that once the votes have been cast, because everything is done electronically, well, they should just come out. You just put them out as they come out of the voting engine. That's not what happens, because these elections are unique. They're probably the most difficult elections to do, probably in the entire world. And I mean, it's not an exaggeration. The reason is that we have 40 councils, there are 40 separate ballots. Candidates are allowed to run for more than one council, and some candidates run for 2 or 3. They're asked to rank their councils in order of preference. So if they get elected to one council, they get assigned to the highest council. If they get elected to 2 councils, they get assigned to the highest council in order of preference. If they, or they get assigned to whichever council they get elected. Now, why does that matter? Because what we have to do, and then there are three features in state law that make for a lot of manual manipulations, in addition to the having to place people in the councils that they applied for, that they were elected to in order of preference. One is the same school rule. Some of you know about it, but a lot of people don't. The state law says that to the extent possible, a council may not have more than 2 parents from the same school among its members. That means, and a council also must have an IEP and an L parent. So what that means, just for CECs, we take the results in order of, the number of votes. Then we go through and we have to eliminate candidates with fewer votes who share a school with a candidate with more votes. And that is not just, I know that some people think, well, if I have 3 schools, why can't I be a representative of one? No, no. If you have 3 schools and you are the top vote getter, you will knock out all of the candidates with fewer votes from school number 2 and number 3, as well as school, all of them, sorry, there's no number 1, 2, and 3. That means a lot of, rearranging of the winners. Then we have to find, then of course, we have to find the L parent and the IEP parent. And sometimes we have to go way down because really those are 2 mandated seats. Once we do that, then things get rearranged by whether people have won in one CEC. And so we have to remove them from another CEC or a citywide council that they may have won in. So this actually takes a long time. The other thing that then takes a long time, what we did differently this year was in previous years, if you applied in previous years, you might remember that we started applications on February 1st. And you had to fill out an application that asked you where your children, where do you have children, what their grades are and all that. So in that case, we actually vetted parents to make sure that they had actually listed all their children, that the DBNs were correct and all that. This time, this is why we went through NICSA this time, because those data are actually in NICSA. And we did it for applications, but primarily looking at voting because there was no way that our team could vet all of the voters. So that had to be done electronically. On the other hand, when we go back after the votes are cast and the winners are determined, we actually have to go back and check that the parents, that the candidates actually linked all of their children on NICSA. There is no button that you can push at the DOE. And I saw something in the chat about, oh, that's all in the same database. No, DOE does not have any database that allows you to push a button and find all of the children associated with any one parent. There just isn't. We have a system called ATS, which is from the mid-'80s, that is very, very, very difficult and cumbersome to use. We have NICSA, we have CECs for IEP and for IEPs, but that system only starts from kindergarten. We have pre-K parents whose children are only in CAPS. So all of these systems have to be queried. There's really nothing. Believe me, that if there were a system that would allow us to do this electronically, we would use it. We're looking into maybe automating more of the sorting of results, but we really could not do it. That is a manual process, and we check it many, many different ways. And then we have to also organize the results in a way that makes sense to people. So that's a very short summary of what we did. We actually finished the sorting and assigning seats. Now we're looking for the conflict of interest review by a single ethics officer who is one person reviewing all the applications. So we're actually looking to release results by the end of next week, we're hoping. But that is a process that is incredibly time consuming and labor intensive. And we really are checking it we do this 3 or 4 or 5 times, different people, to make sure that there are no errors. The good news is that unlike in previous years, it looks like we have at most 2 runoffs. We probably only have one council with 1 runoff. So that's the good news for those of you who've been around the 2 or 3 rounds of runoffs. So that's.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much. It's a lot, All I heard is the results will be out next week. So that's what is the most important. And I think all of us could appreciate that. You want to make sure there's a thorough process. Right now, they're recounting ballots for the election, right? That happened for president, right? So we want to make sure this process goes through thoroughly, all the way. Make sure, and then will results be public, like in terms of like the tally for the public?
Yes. Yes. So what we're doing that's different from the past is in the past we had these lists and it said, candidate A elected, candidate B not elected, C elected, D not elected. We are actually explaining the same school rule, and so you can see from the DBNs why certain people, DBNs is the school number basically. So you will see why somebody will say somebody who has 100 votes, and somebody has 75 votes, the person with 75 votes from the same school is going to be eliminated. But then there's another person with 50 votes below who's going to be elected because they're not from the same school. So that will be clear. We're really trying to be more transparent about what we do. And even when we take out people from the mix, we don't seat somebody, we're looking to say not seated, same school rule. And for that, rather than just, and for the citywide councils, CCHS and District 75 had the same school rule. For CCSC and CCLL, there's the same district rule. So we just, those are just rules that are difficult to explain. They have their reasons, and but we have to obey them.
Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for your patience. At this point, I will adjourn this meeting. It's now 9:17 p.m. I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your patience. Fellow council members, please stay on. It's now 9:17. We will start our business meeting at 9:20. 9:22. So we have a 5-minute break, and then we'll start back our business meeting at 9:22. Thank you all community members for staying on and cheering us on. We really appreciate you and everyone else here, all the principals, all of our paraprofessionals, everybody. Thank you so much. Dr. Pate?
I actually went off camera for a second because that was our executive superintendent calling to check in on us and wanting to know how we were doing in our meeting. And I explained to her the points that have been raised today, including summarizing and including CEC elections. She would love to speak with you, President Ramjatan, and I assured her that we would welcome that conversation. And so I'll offline with you just to make sure we're communicating, but I want you all to know that people are paying attention, they're checking in on us, and we are continuing to push this agenda for transparency, and a way for us to get the information that we need, make the decisions we need to make for our families. And so I just want to thank everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Narayan Bara, thank you so much, sir, for all your wonderful statistics and data. We appreciate the numbers. Thank you for being here. I am going to allow everyone, allow everyone to unmute themselves, please? Yes, you can unmute yourself now at this time. Unmute.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Good night, Paola.
Have a good summer.
Bye, everyone.
Good to see you, Shirley.
Bye.
Hi, Sonia.
Good night, Dr. Pate.
Hi, Jessica.
Nice, Sonia.
Nice to hear Venus.
Hi,
Oh, look at the lady
Hi,
from
everyone.
312. Hello, Mom. 312.
Oh, yeah.
Good
night,
everyone.
I'm so happy.
Good night,
she's on.
everyone. Have a wonderful.
Sorry, thank you.
Good
Michael, you will
night.
be missed, sir. Thank you.
Night.
Talking to you guys next year.
Hi, Venus.
Well,
Hey,
Elena, congratulations,
Simone.
Elena.
Good night.
So beautiful.
Nice.
Good night,
Yes,
everybody.
Venus,
So
she's on her
proud
face
of all
now.
you
There you
parent
go.
leaders. So proud of you.
Thank you so much. There's Shirley, there is Star Brown, Mr. Greco. You always here. Wow. Dr.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you,
Hey,
Greco.
Mr.
Hi, Star.
Thank
Thank you, Principal Beekman. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night,
I
everyone.
back. I know I was so crazy to have a shower cap on.
Good night.
Sorry, ladies.
Principal
Howard, thank you,
Angela,
Fred.
Sue Shaman,
Thank
thank
you,
you for being
gentlemen.
here.
I know I look
Thank
so
you very
crazy.
much.
Ah.
Venus, what do you have a shower?
Thank you.
I told you I was doing things around the house.
There you go.
Parent advocacy never
It's
ends.
life. Life's happening.
Barbara.
Amen.
Louis, take care.
Amen.
Thank you.
You
Amen.
too. Take
All
care.
right.
Good night. Good night, Miss
So
Com.
greedy.
Good night, Dr. King.
Seema Singh, thank you for being
Take care,
here.
VJ.
Good night,
Thank you.
CC.
Lisa D, thank you for being here.
Thank
Elaine,
you, everyone. Good night.
Wong, Sonia, Shakrani,
VJ, you have Effie in the chat. Effie is
Shalisa, that's her name.
advocating.
Phoebe, you know
Effie,
Shalisa?
yes, go Effie, go. No,
Hey,
Effie,
VJ, I
go.
just want to take this
Lisa, hi,
opportunity
salam,
to
salam.
say
Shalisa,
thank
make
you
sure
to
you
all the
connect with
CC.
Phoebe.
I want to say thank you to all the
Thank you
CC
very much.
members.
She has.
I have been to other
She's a
CC
powerful
meetings and
parent
it's
voice in PS
unbelievable
312.
difference.
We can't hear you, Effie. Give us 1 second. We'll hear you. What are you saying, Effie? Sorry.